Rated M for mature.
You're gonna need some firearms to deal with this lot, and Zombie Army 4 gives you plenty of options. Here's the best guns to do this with. Oh hi! Didn't see you there. I was just braining the undead horde with my GEWEHR 43. Headshot, whatevs. Zombie Army 4's got quite a few options in its arsenal, even more if you've been keeping up with the DLC. So in this video we're going to go through them. Before we get into it, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to get fresh videos like this from us every week. Right, guns. It's not like there's just one god gun that's better than all the rest, because that would be boring, wouldn't it? Instead, there's a varied armory here, and each model excels in particular situations, which you can get a vibe for by reading the stats. What we're going to go over here are the best weapons for the situations you find yourself in most often. You know, shooting zombies, that kind of thing. But seriously, if you've ever agonised over which secondary and pistol to pair your main sniper rifle with, or spent points in the weapon upgrade tree without really thinking it through, this will help. If you want sheer damage above everything else from your sniper rifle, the MOSIN-NAGANT M9130 is your gun. It has the highest damage stat in the game, capable of killing most grunt zombies with a single body shot, which makes it as powerful as it is hard to pronounce. Manage 200 headshots with it and you'll unlock Weapon Mastery 2, which increases rifle damage even more. Of course, there's a trade-off, in this case a relatively small clip size of 5 and a low rate of fire, so you really have to line up your shots and make them count. The name, in case you're interested, came about after a dispute between Belgian inventor Leon Nagant and Sergei Ivanovich Mosin of the Russian Imperial Army, whose similar bolt-action rifles would cause disagreement over ownership in the late 19th century and eventually be settled by a double-barreled name. It's literally the best Russian-Belgian collaboration I can think of, and I listen to a lot of Europop. Most of the time, your secondary is there for when you're caught short trying to reload a rifle and you need to dispatch a load of enemies who've really got quite close indeed to you. And the FG42 is my personal favourite in this scenario. It doesn't have the biggest clip size, that honour belongs to the MP44, which does also have a scope, so you know, good for you MP44, but this thing just rips through hordes. With the 15 bullets you get in each clip, you can always make enough space for yourself to get out of a corner and reposition somewhere better. If you opt for the top upgrade slot of the FG42's magazine tree, you can increase the clip size all the way up to 30, which is totally viable, but I prefer to pick the bottom option and reduce recoil, which really just makes this a no-brainer point and shoot weapon for those times you just don't have time to line up shots and make them look all pretty. The debate will rage on well beyond this video, but here's my 2 cents. The best rifle for snipers who really sweat the details and care deeply about getting headshot after headshot is the M1 carbine. You might prefer using the MOSIN-NAGANT, let's see you in the comments if so, but let me make my case. First off, it's got a nice big clip size, so once you find a good spot, you can stay there and empty up to 21 shots into enemy heads. Again, up to 30 if you opt for the final magazine upgrade. The damage is pretty low, but that's less of a concern here because headshots will kill most enemies in one hit anyway. What really makes this a headshotter's dream is its exceptionally high control and decent rate of fire. Once you upgraded your scope all the way, you get a 10 times zoom too, which is enough for threading zombie eyebrows at 600 meters, let alone killing them. And with that high control, you can keep your crosshairs right where you need them. Okay, let's be real, pistols have 2 uses. The first is when you're conserving ammo in horde mode, and the second is when you've just seriously messed up. The ammo's over there, you're over here, and oh god, you'll just have to use the pistol for a bit and hope for the best. In both those moments, my friends, the WEDLEY is here to help. Firstly, it's an old-fashioned 6-shooter, and I know we're not out to impress anyone here, but come on, we're definitely earning some cool points walking around with this thing slung to our hip. A bit more pertinently, it deals huge damage with each of those 6 shots you get before reloading, and the reload speed itself is pretty quick. Plus, if you choose the upper option for the final explosive rounds upgrade tree slot, that damage basically maxes out. Combine that with the brain buster you can charge up with this thing, and you've got 6 dead zombies twitching at your feet in no time with minimal effort. We've covered the MOSIN-NAGANT and M1 carbine already, and both are quite specialised in their stats. This one, by contrast, is a real all-rounder. Reader beware, you're in for a GEWEHR 43. Yeah, that one sounded better in my head. The obvious downside here on the stat screen is its low damage output, but that's really made up for by a nice 20 bullet clip and a high reload speed. If you're doing your first campaign playthrough, it's a great pick for starting because you're not punished too badly for missing a shot. There's nearly always another bullet ready to go, and with that high control stat, it's easy to guide it into the vital bits of an enemy's anatomy. Next, I'm putting the shotgun mortar on this list, and there's really only one reason for that. It can do this. Granted, being able to do this isn't always the most pressing item on your Dead War agenda, particularly if the hordes manage to get up close to you, because it takes a while for that mortar round to pop out, land, and then after a pregnant second or so, turn an area roughly the size of half a tennis court into jam. Sometimes you just don't have that much time. But for the player with the foresight and the bloodlust to make it work, what a weapon the shotgun mortar is. Let's say you don't want your secondary to fire puny but admittedly high in volume rounds at your enemies, and you also don't want a snakeskin jam maker that clears out half a tennis court at a time. You're looking at a shotgun basically, aren't you? Well, firstly, there is effectively a way to have both by sticking in an auto rifle in your secondary slot and using the shotgun pistol, which fires off 2 high-powered rounds at a time but is slow to reload. It is an option, particularly if you spend some upgrade points to boost that damage stat and stick this toy skin on it. Full disclosure, the toy skin does nothing. I just really like it. But the trench gun is your real go-to weapon for keeping handy in close encounters. With a magazine size of 8 when fully upgraded, you can pop off a good number of shots without having to worry about your precise aim too much, and as such, it can clear you a path out of danger very effectively. Those are the 7 guns that catch our eye every time we're in the loadout screen in Zombie Army 4. Did we mention your all-time fave? Tell us which one is your go-to gun below in the comments. Once again, if you're not already subscribed, please hit that button and the notification bell so we can keep making more videos like this every week. And if you enjoyed this one, give us a thumbs up. We'll catch you in the next one.